Hello everyone, Alien Volt here, and I am bringing you a video of Battlefield 4 on the upcoming expansion Naval Strike on the map Wavebreaker. This is a brand new game mode called Carrier Assault. This game mode is actually a combination of what would be normally Conquest and Rush. So the basics is that you just assault points just like you would in Conquest, and then you hold them, defend them, and control them, basically to send off missiles into the enemy aircraft carrier. Now the longer you hold these points, the faster their aircraft carrier is destroyed. At 50%, the aircraft carrier is destroyed to the point that you can actually enter it. Once you enter it, then similar to the Titan mode in Battlefield 2142, you go in and you have two consoles to attack, which is very similar to Rush. You basically attack the consoles and you blow them up. Once the first one is blown up, then you move on to the second one, and you then destroy that one. Once you destroy both of them, the game is over. Now you can also win the game strictly by points alone. So if you destroy the enemy's aircraft carrier, whether it be through destroying the consoles on the ship or just running their points down by the missiles attacking, you can win either way. So one thing to keep in mind, that if you're actually playing this game mode and you get onto the aircraft carrier, if you abandon all of these bases out there and they have a really good few squads in there defending, maybe even 4, they leave one squad out to run around the islands and capture all the flags, you'll end up losing. In Carrier Assault you actually have 5 points to control. 3 of them are in the center of the map surrounding Echo. Echo is the primary point inside the submarine facility, and the Levolution is actually destroying the submarine. Now you have Delta on the west side of the center island, Foxtrot on the east side, Charlie is at the top of the map, and then you have Gulf at the south end. Charlie and Gulf are actually on their own islands, which makes them a little harder to get to and maintain, but D, E, and F are actually all right there on the island, and you could run from basically west to east, east to west, and try to defend all 3 of those, while forgetting about the outside ones primarily, and actually get the enemy's carrier down before they can get yours if you can maintain all 3 points. Obviously, if you can maintain more, you can destroy their carrier earlier and win the game. We are getting destroyed, or at least I am, inside here. This is all a submarine complex, and basically there's 4 paths in here. You've got one path coming from Delta, one that leads in from Foxtrot, and then one in the north from Charlie. It's not actually connected to Charlie, but it's on the north end in front of Charlie, or south of Charlie. And it leads in, and then there's another one on the south end in front of, or to the north of Gulf, on the south end of Echo on the island. So basically it almost looks like a cross that's cut into the island, and you have tunnel systems that lead in and out from both directions. Or rather all 4 directions. So there's a lot of ways into Echo. So Echo is mainly the main point that's fought over the whole time. Echo is actually like a large warehouse room, and basically you have, you know, four sides. And what becomes very problematic is that you have actually 3 stories on 4 different sides to keep track of, and and cover, and it makes it very hard, even for one squad. So far, I really like this map. It's one of my favorites, and I think it's because of the close quarters combat that it provides when you're actually in this warehouse area. So far, this has been a really close game, but what my team's been doing for the majority of the match is trying to keep the outer points, and we're just putting pressure on Echo while they try to defend Echo. Echo's not the base that's going to win them the round, so they are maintaining it, which is a good foothold, because if they lose that, then it's going to be harder to get back. But the main point is that you want to keep 3 of the 5 bases here, and we're doing that more than they are, which is why we're ahead in points. However, points alone aren't really that significant if you're not defending your carrier. Now, as I said earlier, when you're developing these strategies to actually play, you really have to keep an eye on where your team is, and then try to coordinate with your squad accordingly. You don't want all 5 squads on your carrier when your carrier becomes available for the enemy to actually attack, because all they really have to do at that point is hold you at your carrier and take all the points, and they'll drain your points down, destroy your carrier, and win the game without even stepping foot on it. So even though we're winning by points right now, which means we'll get in their carrier before they get into ours, really it's only a couple point margin, and it's not going to make that big of a difference. Now, who wins is basically going to decide on how they split up their forces. We want to be able to keep as many bases as we can, but while not dedicating very much manpower to it. So what we really need to do is commit a couple squads to assaulting, a couple to defending, and then keep a squad out that's defending the points that we have or assaulting other points that we don't have. So that way, if we don't get both stations destroyed on their battleship, or not their battleship, but their carrier, then at least we can drain their points down if we can defend ours. Now, one thing about these maps are they're definitely dominated by vehicles. So, I mean, that's what Battlefield's all about, is full-on battles with vehicles and infantry personnel. And even though game modes will allow you to restrict vehicles to the point where it doesn't spawn any, so you can do infantry only on several modes, this style of gameplay is actually designed for vehicles, so you wouldn't want to exclude them. But you can see how easily you're dominated outside in the environment when you can't defend yourself against attack helicopters and attack boats coming by. Now, the maps themselves are very beautiful. I mean, the water is, you know, just look at it, it's amazing to play on. I'm definitely not disappointed. And in fact, I'm really enjoying this gameplay, and I think it's probably going to be my favorite gameplay. Not only is it faster than Conquest, but you still have clear objectives that are actually fun and challenging. And personally, I think that this is probably the game mode that requires the most teamwork to actually win. I think this jet ski's seen better days. I took it from an enemy that ended up dying, and I don't think I want to ride that too much further. I think it's past the point of return there. At least it wasn't actually taking my life. normally if you get close enough to fire, it'll actually burn you and, you know, damage your health. I'm actually utilizing a close range quick sight here on this weapon. This is the AWS. It was introduced to last expansion. And it's actually a very good weapon, but when it was first introduced it was pretty overpowered. It's been nerfed, so not quite as good as what it was. I don't know if I'll continue to use it or not. I'm shutting the doors here, which is kind of a cool effect. But I think I'm going to end up going back to the 249 saw. It's or maybe even the 240B, because they're both very good weapons. The 240B is a larger round and does more damage, but it does have a slower firing rate. And the 249 squad automatic weapon or saw is actually one of my favorites, and not only does it fire very similar to this, it actually has 200 rounds in the belt, so it's a very good weapon. I mean, this one was really cool because it had a fastest reload time for an LMG, because it's actually like more of like a clip. It's not belt fed, so its exchange is really quick. The fire rate and everything was very similar to the 249 saw, and made for a really good weapon. But since the nerf, it's not quite as good. My team's doing pretty good right now. If you notice over the carrier there, they had a parachute symbol, which means that carrier is actually, the enemy one is actually able to parachute into it now to attack it. As you can see right here at the top left hand side. However, rather than to attack the enemy carrier, I'm actually sitting back with my squad and defending ours, because as long as we can defend ours with minimal personnel, it looks like we have about a squad and a half in here right now. Hopefully they've got at least 2 squads attacking, then we should end up pulling this off and winning. And right now we are winning. We still have people on the islands that are taking points that we don't have. That also ties up enemy personnel, as well as attacking their objectives on their carrier. We're in a pretty good spot right now. We've got 3 of the outside bases, and we're doing really well. And that's it. We won 34% to 24%, but see, we've got the 2 enemy objectives completed, destroyed their carrier, and that's game. And that's carrier assault on Wavebreaker. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.